This is Democracy and Z, a student podcast brought to you by Cincinnati Public Radio in collaboration with Elements. For more, find us at democracyandme.org.
Hello and welcome to our Democracy and Z podcast. My name is Joyeuse.
My name is Enock, and we will be leading our discussion today.
Can we first share our names, schools, and what was the last thing we ate or we're eating right now? I'll go first. My name is Joyeuse Muhorakeye. I go to Aiken High School. I ate strawberry protein powder smoothie today.
I'll go next. My name is Enock Sadiki. I go to Aiken High School. I'm in 10th grade. And the last thing I ate is an apple.
Thank you for sharing.
Can somebody else go?
I can go. Hello, my name is Brennan Jones. I'm in 12th grade and I go to Finneytown High School. The last thing I ate was probably a banana or granola bar. Not sure which.
Okay.
I can go next. My name's Harnoor. I'm a junior at the University of Cincinnati. And the last thing I drank was a really large cup of coffee with 2 pumps of lavender syrup. Very strong.
Hi, my name is Alex Bentley. I'm a junior at University of Cincinnati TAP program. The last thing I ate was a pretzel rod.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Ann Stevenson. I go to University of Cincinnati with Alex. We're in the same program together, which is awesome. Something that I had today was a mozzarella stick.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Today we'll be talking about the Biden and Harris administration. We'll be talking about some sensitive topics, so let us agree to support each other.
What do you want to see from the new Biden-Harris administration?
I expect the Biden-Harris administration to be good leaders and not be like Trump. Does anyone agree?
Yeah.
That's a starter.
Do you think there are some things they will be doing similar to what Trump did? Or do you think they will be doing something?
Probably much better than Trump. I just saw he passed an LGBT bill the other day to protect trans athletes, which I thought was great.
Yeah, I mean, he reversed many of the harmful I want to say restrictions that Trump did. I think there was ban on transgenders in the military, stuff like that. I think is a lot better than Trump. I think he's going to be a lot more socially progressive in that field and do a lot of good there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they passed a bill similar to that in Kentucky, where I'm from, where a doctor would be able to refuse a person for like healthcare, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
There's a separation of church and state for a reason.
Yeah.
Have you all seen those videos where Joe Biden is sitting at his new desk and is like furiously signing away, trying to repeal legislation? I've seen those circulating on Twitter, and in the comments, people will like make the note that even though he's trying to undo everything that's happened in the last 8 years, it's really going to take hundreds of years for some of the legislation to be implemented, because especially the problems that Trump created, a lot of them he just made worse what was already existing. So for us to really repeal these terrible laws, we have to go back to hundreds of years before his presidency, before even Obama's presidency. So even though I have a lot of hope with his cabinet picks, like we were talking about, there's definitely a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, I think Trump really messed up a lot of things that Biden will have. It will take a lot of work for him to put it all back together. I expect the Biden-Harris administration to respect the Black Lives Matter movement more, because like, especially with Kamala Harris being a Black woman, I think they're gonna put it more in control.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting, I think he will too, but I'm just wondering how he deals with the rhetoric of Black Lives Matter, because a lot of the rhetoric around it was defund the police and stuff like that, like taking the money from police departments, slowly defunding it and putting it into mental health and social services. But Biden made a statement that instead of, defunding and reallocating resources, he was going to increase the police budget, and so that they can have more training on mental health services. But I'm just wondering, like, will that help? Because I know there are statistics showing that an increase in police budget doesn't necessarily stop crime. There's no real correlation between the two.
All right. So do you think Biden would invite the Black Lives Matter leaders to the White House?
I think it'd be interesting to see how he, communicates with them, and what concessions he makes, because obviously that's probably one of the biggest talking
Yeah, that's
points
a
in
big
America
thing.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would he handle a group that is hated by millions of people? Like a lot of people hate them. Like them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult to say how that will play out, because there is such a big divide in America right now. I think it's difficult to say, but I definitely think he's more open to that.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think he'll fully be able to fix the problems, because he has been committed to more moderate approach. But I'm very I hopefully he'll really consider some of the talking points that they're making.
Yeah, I think it's also important to note that Joe Biden was supported by the Democratic establishment. They wanted him in place. So, in general, the Democratic Party has a habit of forcing out people who they think they can't control.
Mhm.
And I know that in the past, BLM leaders have refused invitations to the White House because they know it's very performative. They know it's someone trying to make a statement without giving the policies they need. I saw something, I can't remember who the tweet was from, but something along the lines of like, if you want to talk love language to Black women, policy is our love language. And I thought that was interesting how people are starting to really say across all types of groups that unless we see change in our policies and we see changes in how we are being treated in our homes, we're not going to accept this identity politics of come over to our house and we'll serve you something and then change nothing later.
I also expect the Biden-Harris administration to stop the federal execution of prisoners. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think he did say that on his like plan of the first 100 days of what he wanted to get done. I think he did say he wanted to end the death penalty. So I think we might see a push for that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause Trump executed 13 people since July,
Mhm.
and being the first federal execution in 17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I would say, like most of them are like they're prisoners, so of course they've done something wrong. But 85% of the people on the death row experience mental issues, so like they've
Yeah.
had an abuse in their lives.
I mean, I think that comes hand in hand with, improving mental health facilities, in the, to bring this to a issue that is very in the public eye. We need to bolster our medical system.
Yeah.
Like severely, we are lacking and behind in compared to other developed countries. Pretty much all of them have Medicare for all or single payer tax Medicare. So we're lacking in a very vital policy that most other developed countries have. I mean, there's really no argument against Medicare for all at this point, especially with COVID showing how bad our medical system is. And we need to bolster our mental health so that people who do have mental health issues don't get put into prison and then, like you said, executed. I mean, it's a big fault in our system to incarcerate people for stuff like this. And I know that I read his I guess mission statement, and he did say he wants to improve our mental health facilities and whatnot, and focus on rehabilitation and instead of
Yeah, I think there's 1,000 ways you can look at, or 1,000 access points where you can consider how our healthcare system is linked to our prison complex. I think it's really crazy that we are one of the only health systems where your insurance is tied to your employment. So we know that we're facing an eviction crisis. I talked to several friends whose parents lost their jobs, which means they also lost their health insurance during a pandemic that severely affects your health. So I know Joe Biden's team knows this, the people that he's picked. A lot of them work in health policy, have worked with infectious diseases before. But the fact is, we need a plan that meets the scale of this problem. And that's enormous and something that's never been done before. So he really will have to be very, very radical in the goals he sets in pursuing them if he wants us to recover from all of the losses, or at least the economic losses that we've had this year.
Yeah. I mean, like, even like, I think there was a peer-reviewed study at Yale that said we could save up to like 450 billion annually if we switch to a Medicare for all. So yeah, just makes sense.
Yeah, and like that brings me to another topic. What do you guys think about like the kids that Donald Trump put in that he hid their parents, like he separated
Oh,
their
the
parents?
kids that got separated.
Yeah.
I thought that was inhumane, honestly. Like, he wasn't really stepping into their shoes or empathizing with them on his part. I know a big person that was involved in the immigration policy was Stephen Miller. There's a report from the Southern Poverty Law Center about his activities as a neo-Nazi when he was young. And like, he was heavily involved in the immigration policies in the Trump administration.
And I was just like curious, in case Biden wanted to do something about it, where will he find his parents? Because like Trump separated the kids and the parents.
Ooh, that's a hard question. Man, I think it would take a lot of reparations and to really fix that problem. I mean, like you said, this is probably one of the things we're going to see a lasting impact on. I mean, there was awful things going on, and I'm not sure if they're still going on or not, but there was like people being sprayed with harmful chemicals and just a lot of abuse and whatnot. And I think there was like I forget what his name, but they basically forcibly sterilized women so that they couldn't have babies. But that's like something that's going to be ingrained in our history, and it's going to take forever to, repair.
Do you think Biden and Harris will allow refugees to come, more refugees from other countries? Because most of these refugees come from like wars and stuff. Like they go through hard stuff and then come here to make a new change, new life.
I think that's a difficult question, just because if you look at what the US has done internationally, like somebody could argue that we are responsible for these people becoming displaced and becoming refugees. So even if they did not take Trump's radical stance of anti-immigrant, anti-refugee, white cis human beings, I don't know if they will stall all of the plundering and all of the evil really that we're doing in other countries. So I would want to see what their stance is on movements locally, like BLM. Since we were talking about the the children of migrant workers and dreamers, I know that he supports dreamers, but at the same time, is he giving them a path to citizenship? Is he going to create a system where people don't have to worry about their dreamer status being revoked.
Yeah. I mean, I think that takes us back to kind of what you said. I mean, we can have a bunch of talk and like say, oh yeah, like I totally support immigrants, but when it comes down to it, like that's all performative. We need to have actual policy. Um, in our we need to have policy behind those words, and that's the only way um things can get better is if we actually do something about it. I mean, there's not really a difference between saying, I'm going to do this and then not saying it. Like you're still not doing
Yeah.
it. You're not actually meaningfully putting actions behind your words, and there will still be similar consequences. So that's what I hope the Biden administration understands, is that they have to follow through with what they said that they're going to do if they want anything to.
Yeah, we can't trust the words. We have to trust the actions, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but also like Biden, he already took some steps into this. He has stopped the Muslim ban. Yeah, but even though they have stopped the Muslim ban, what are they going to do to be more welcoming, to keep the refugees and immigrants safe?
I don't know, nothing wrong with them. Just people, it's the hate, you know? Yeah.
There's pretty deep prejudice in America. There's a lot of xenophobia.
Yeah, and to me personally, it's kind of sad, and like, and it kind of gets me angry, and I feel irritated because I'm a refugee too. I came from like Rwanda, and I still have a lot of families there too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I hope the Biden administration will allow more people to come, not like, because Trump did not do that.
I think I will bring us full circle and give my prediction of what the world will look like in 4 years. I won't say the world, just because I feel like I don't even know enough about what's happening in every corner. But at least in the US, I'm hopeful that in the next 4 years, we'll have a public health course with a lot of community health workers trained to identify pandemics. I know, because I work for an organization that focuses on pandemic preparedness policy, that are most likely the next deadly pandemic is going to come in the next 10 years, not 50 years from now, not like at the end of our lifetime. So my hope is that we'll be fully prepared for that.
In the next 4 years, I think the COVID-19 cases will be gone. Hopefully it disappears this year. But in the next 4 years, it will be gone. Then there will be less, I think there will be less problems about the Black Lives Matter movement.
You can go.
I was about to say, like, the next 4 you guys are talking about like big changes. Do you guys think Kamala Harris could replace Joe Biden?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think if she does a good job, she can give it a shot.
Like, it would be the first woman.
I think it would be great.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it would be cool too to have like she's the first vice president. She's the first, as a woman, and then being a president and as a woman, that would be cool.
Yeah. I was just saying I don't know, because I don't think Biden will go away or anything.
Yeah, you think Biden's
hopefully
8 years? Biden?
Huh?
Biden
8 years? No.
No.
Maybe after this.
Yeah.
But I go for it.
My prediction for the next 4 years was maybe not necessarily such radical policy change, but hopefully a more conscious America, like we have more class consciousness, more awareness of issues facing, people of color, LGBTQ people. I really hope that this administration creates an environment where we can start to actually acknowledge those issues.
My prediction for 4 years from now is there will be less hyperpartisanship in America. Both sides will talk more and not like yell at each other. because I think Biden will make a lot of changes with just the national discourse.
I think we should wrap it up. It's time. Maybe we can continue talking about it next time. What do you guys think?
We should.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing your.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys for sharing your opinion.
Democracy NC is a program of Cincinnati Public Radio and WVXU with support from the Charles H. Dater Foundation. Thanks for listening up.